So when I say pray about it, pray about it. Because a lot of times, when we think we're alone and that anxiety and that stress is a part of that, that makes it worse. But to know that God is always there, He's always listening, He's also waiting on us. Like, He's always waiting on us to be like, hey, it's me. I know I ain't been here in a while. I know I ain't talked to you in a minute, but I really need to discuss some things because I'm really stressing, and I really need your help. I really need your confidence, your peace, your grace. I need your mercy. I need all of it. And I can say that I had to pray and give things over to God, but it was easier said than done because, I'm not gonna say his name, but this guy over here be trying to bring them all back, and I'd be like, no, we don't want that. That's not for me. I don't want it. It's not mine. Look, it's not mine. I gave it over to God. I ain't tripping. But it's definitely easier said than done. It takes time and it takes patience. Because what? Oh, goodness. It takes a lot of patience, but God will give you patience as well. But that brings me to my next topic, which is depression. That's a whole different ball game. That's like not a whole different ball game, but that's like all of that all in one, and it just brings you down. And your environment plays such a big part in that. Your life, your lifestyle, the things that are around you, the people around you. A lot of times we don't realize that it makes us who we are in that moment, because if we definitely not noticing the signs ourselves, or the people around us not noticing the signs until it's like, later or whatever, like, tend to kind of make it to where it's harder to get out of it. But it's so easy. I'm telling you, it's so easy to get into it. But depression, let me give you the definition. A mood disorder that's caused by a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. And not necessarily in my case would I say I realized that sad part was like crying all the time, but just not having no joy and no happiness. And I would try, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, ooh, I woke up today, we're going to be positive, we're happy that we're here. And then it's like, that's all I got. That's all I got. But what we can do is say, okay, I get stressed when somebody asks me about this, or they ask me how I'm going to do this, or they ask me this or ask me that. That stresses me out. Because once you recognize what stresses you, then you're able to kind of move around and be like, all right, I'm going to avoid this to the best of my ability. But if I'm approached by this, then I know how to say, like, hey, this conversation is going to have to be short. It's going to have to be short because it stresses me out. And once you start handling those stressors, you start to realize how your anxiety and your stress will start to kind of waver down. Because one thing that's really important is recognizing your triggers, recognizing your stressors, recognizing what puts you in that mood, what really puts you in that zone. Like, it's a matter of not letting our emotions and our environment and our mental, because our mind will play some tricks on us. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, I really probably am overthinking this. Yeah, you probably are, but we don't overthink on it anyway. But it's like, once you get to a point where you're like, all right, mind, we're gonna think about this. Is this worth the stress and anxiety that I'm giving it? Because sometimes, even though it's not voluntary, we can work on those responses and those reactions, because once we're aware of our feelings and we're aware of our thoughts, we tell them thoughts, hey, you got to go. You're not wanted here, because God doesn't give us the fear, anxiety,